Good evening, and thank you for tuning into Lewis University Television Network. Today is April 16, 2026. I'm Brian Najera.
And I'm Christian Kluver.
A former Virginia lieutenant governor died early today in an apparent murder-suicide. Investigators say Justin Fairfax shot his wife before turning the gun on himself. Officers responded to a home in Annandale shortly after midnight, where they found both victims inside. Police say the shooting appears to be tied to a domestic dispute during what they described as a complicated divorce. The couple married in 2006. Their two teenage children were reportedly home at the time of the shooting. Police say one of them called 911. Fairfax served as lieutenant governor from 2018 to 2022 and previously ran for governor.
President Donald Trump says he might fire the Federal Reserve Chair next month. That's if Jerome Powell doesn't step down from his leadership role when his chair term ends on May 15th. Powell says that he'll stay on as chair pro tempore until his replacement takes over. Trump wants Kevin Warsh in the job, but he's facing an obstacle in the Senate. Key Republican Senator Tom Tillis says that they won't vote until they confirm Warsh, unless the Justice Department probe into Powell ends. Critics says the investigation is a Trump tactic for getting the board to cut interest rates. Powell says that he won't leave the panel until the investigation ends, and his term as governor stretches into 2026.
The Senate has once again rejected a measure aimed at limiting President Trump's war powers in Iran. This marks the fourth time the Democratic-led effort has failed in the upper chamber. Republicans blocked the resolution from advancing, with the vote coming in at 52 to 47. Democratic Senator John Fetterman voted with the Republicans, while Republican Senator Rand Paul crossed party lines to vote in favor of the measure. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has said Democrats are going to force a war power vote every week for the foreseeable future. Some Republicans have indicated they may support the measure once the conflict hits the 60-day mark.
In California Wednesday, a very special reunion between a mother and a paramedic who helped deliver her baby on the way to the hospital. Yesenia Avila and her family made a trip to Orange County Fire Authority Station in Garden Grove. Avila wanted to meet the fire captain, Greg Williams, again to thank him. Her recent delivery came with plenty of drama. Avila went into labor at 38 weeks with her sister-in-law driving her to the hospital. They called 911 and pulled over due to a jammed rush hour traffic on the freeway. Paramedic Williams and his team arrived quickly to get Avila into the ambulance. In a matter of minutes, baby Amric was born.
In western Michigan, this was the scene at the Hespera Dam on Wednesday. Water rushed out of the barrier and flooded a nearby embankment and walking trail. Officials say the dam could potentially fail. The National Weather Service says water has been rising in the White River and could possibly soon overtop the dam. Since Monday, portions of the west central Michigan have been under flood and flash flood watches amid a line of severe storms. Residents in those areas are told to monitor updates from local emergency management. Up next, international news. We'll be right back.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought-after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you toward success today and strong, growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
The American man who said his wife fell overboard and disappeared into rough waters in the Bahamas has been released from custody. Brian Hooker was released from Bahamian authorities with no charges. He declined to speak with reporters as he left the police station. His attorney said there was no evidence against Hooker and that justice in the Bahamas works. The 88-year-old Michigan resident was taken into custody on April 8th, and Hooker was questioned for days about his wife Lynette's April 5th disappearance and their relationship. He claimed it was a boating accident, and Hooker declined all allegations of wrongdoing, that he was involved in her falling overboard from a dinghy near their sailboat. The missing 85-year-old mother and sailor has not been found, and the Coast Guard previously opened a criminal investigation into the case.
On Monday, the U.S. Navy began its blockade to and from Iranian ports. President Donald Trump has ordered a blockade after the United States and Iran failed to reach a peace deal during weekend talks in Pakistan. A U.S. official says at least 15 ships, including an aircraft carrier and 11 destroyers, are now in the Middle East. The president says his administration received a call from Iranian officials on Monday, adding that Tehran wants to, quote, make a deal very badly. Sources say the two sides are still in talks with the U.S., discussing details for a possible second in-person meeting with Iranian officials.
Costa Rica has received its first group of migrants deported from the United States under a new agreement between the two countries. Officials say 25 foreign nationals and one Costa Rican arrived Saturday at the main international airport near the capital. The group includes people from several countries across Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Authorities say the process was orderly and that all individuals were treated with respect and provided basic assistance. The agreement allows up to 25 deportees to be sent to Costa Rica each week. Officials say migrants can apply for temporary legal status, seek refugee protection, or return to their home countries voluntarily.
It's a very special birthday at the Berlin Zoo on Monday. The world's oldest gorilla in human care turned 69. Fatu has lived at the zoo since 1959, making her its longest residing animal. Keepers say Fatu now lives separately from the main group, enjoying a quieter and more peaceful environment. Her daily routine has also been slowed, with staff providing close medical monitoring. And there's another big change, her diet. Fruit has been removed due to sugar-related health risks and replaced with several small balanced meals throughout the day.
Pope Leo is standing by the Bible's message of peace in response to criticism from President Donald Trump. The first American pontiff says he isn't afraid of the Trump administration and will continue to speak out against the U.S.'s war with Iran. As he boarded a plane on Monday for a trip to Africa, Pope Leo responded to Trump's Sunday comments, calling the pontiff terrible for foreign policy. We'll be right back with our local stories.
Building bridges for peace and reconciliation.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
The Lockport Public Works Department is continuing roadway maintenance projects following winter weather conditions. Crews have been focusing on pothole repairs and street inspections throughout the area. Officials say freeze and thaw cycles can cause significant damage to road surfaces. Residents are encouraged to report potholes through the city's website. The city says these repairs are essential for driver safety, and work will continue throughout the spring season.
Lewis University students are approaching the final weeks of the spring semester as academic deadlines near. Students are preparing for final projects, presentations, and exams. University resources such as tutoring and study sessions are available to support student success, and staff encourage students to stay organized and use campus support services. Many students are also finalizing plans for summer internships and job commencements. Preparations are also underway for graduating seniors.
The Romeoville Police Department is reminding drivers to stay alert as spring traffic patterns increase. With warmer weather, more pedestrians and cyclists are expected on local roads. Officers are continuing traffic enforcement throughout the community. Residents are encouraged to follow speed limits and stay distraction-free while driving. Police say these efforts help reduce accidents and keep roads safe. Safety will remain a priority throughout the season.
Local park districts in Romeoville and Lockport are beginning spring preparations for park and recreational spaces. Crews are cleaning up winter debris and preparing fields for upcoming sports seasons. Officials say park improvements and maintenance are key to community use. Residents can expect more outdoor programs and activities in the coming weeks. Registration for spring and summer programs is now open in many areas, and park districts encourage families to get involved. Up next, entertainment news with Michelle Stowe.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Singer Katy Perry is reportedly under investigation following a sexual assault allegation made by Australian actress Ruby Rose. The Orange is the New Black star claims the incident occurred at Melbourne nightclub nearly 20 years ago. A representative for Perry has strongly denied the accusation, calling it false and reckless. Authorities confirm that an investigation is currently underway. Police haven't released additional details at this time as it's a developing story. Updates will be provided as they become available. Britney Spears is reportedly seeking treatment at a facility on a voluntary basis. A representative for the singer confirmed that she recently checked herself in. The news comes shortly after Spears was arrested last month on suspicion of driving under the influence. She has a well-documented history of mental health struggles and was under a conservatorship that ended in 2021. Since then, some of her social media activity has raised concerns among fans. Her team says this treatment could be the first step toward long-needed positive changes in her life. A small bakery is seeing a major surge in popularity after a recent shout-out from actor Ryan Gosling. The shop, known for its cakes and cupcakes, is now gaining national attention for its handmade Pop-Tarts. Since the mention last month, orders have skyrocketed and even landed the owner and her sister a spot on the Today Show. To keep up with demand, the bakery has increased production from just a few dozen pastries a day to hundreds, while also hiring additional staff despite the growth. Each Pop-Tart is still handmade, which takes time and precision. Customers continue lining up, eager to try the now viral treat and see what all the buzz is about. Madonna is set to release her first full-length album in 7 years. The pop icon announced the news on social media, sharing what appears to be the album cover. Titled Confessions on a Dance Floor Part 2, the project is scheduled to drop on July 3rd. Madonna says the album will serve as a follow-up to her 2005 dance record. She is once again teaming up with producer Stuart Price for the release. The FBI has released new photos as part of its investigation into the recent shooting involving rapper Offset. The incident took place earlier this month at the Seminole Hard Rock Cafe and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Offset was injured after what authorities describe as an assault involving a large group, with one individual firing a single shot. The newly released images reportedly show vehicles and individuals believed to be connected to the incident. Local authorities initially detained 2 people following the shooting. The FBI is now asking the public for help, hoping the photos will lead to more information in the ongoing investigation. Up next, news in the medical world with health correspondent Sharon Sharing after these messages.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Research over the years has tied marriage to improved health. Now, a new study suggests that matrimony may be linked to a lower risk of cancer. Most people think of marriage as a milestone, and they may be right. But a new study suggests it might also be a lifeline. When the data was broken down by race and ethnicity, Hispanic and Black men appeared to benefit most from marriage compared to white men. The research shows some of the everyday benefits a spouse can provide include someone to push you to see a doctor, keep up with screenings, and steer clear of risky behaviors like smoking and heavy drinking. For those who are single, having a solid support system can be just as valuable. Taking care of your body should be a long-term goal, but if summer is suddenly motivating you to get back on the health wagon, there's still time to get going. Not everyone on GLP-1 drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound drops weight. Clinical trials suggest about 10 to 15% of people who try them are non-responders when it comes to substantial weight loss. However, there is mounting evidence showing other health benefits from GLP-1 medications besides losing weight. GLP-1s can reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes and improve outcomes in heart failure even when participants don't lose weight or if they gain weight. According to new findings from researchers at the University of Toronto, the drugs may also improve liver health. Their ability to tamp down inflammation may be a key reason the drugs help with heart conditions and kidney disease in ways independent of weight loss. A new study shows vigorous exercise is better at preventing 8 diseases than less intense movement. Experts usually define it as exercise that substantially raises a person's heart rate and breathing. The study involves data from more than 400,000 people over an average of 9 years. It shows the best outcomes are for dementia and type 2 diabetes. And vigorous exercise doesn't have to last long. For most people, benefits could be seen with just a few minutes every day. The study is in the European Health Journal. A rule of thumb to test if you're exercising vigorously is whether you're so out of breath you can't speak much. Up next, a look at your local weather with Christian Kluver followed by Sports with Jaden Elmore. We'll be right back after these messages.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Welcome back, Flyers, to your weekly weather forecast. For today's highs up north in Rockford, it was 74 degrees. All the way in Waukegan, it was only 67. But down where we are, Joliet between Cicero, it was pretty stagnant, 73 to 74. Kankakee is going to be 71. And LaPorte in Indiana is going to be 72. South Bend is 72 as well. And the radar around our area, we are pretty clear where we are. It's just super nice. Out in Cleveland, there might be some scattered showers all the way up in Michigan, and same thing down south in southern Illinois. There may be some storms in the Chicagoland area. We are going to be in the clear for temperature changes. The largest temperature changes in Waukegan. It was a 17-degree change, but where we are at between Joliet and Cicero, it only ranged to about a 3-degree change. And in Indiana, it was -5 and a -4-degree change. And when we end out with our 7-day outlook, today it was partly cloudy, 71 was our high, and 48 was our low. Tomorrow, same thing, partly cloudy, 81 is going to be our high. We have a nice weekend, which is partly cloudy as well. 53 is going to be our high on Saturday, a little bit more chilly on Sunday. 48 is going to be our high, 37 as the low, 34 is the low on Sunday. And going into the week, same thing, partly cloudy. We're going to start to warm up a little bit. It's going to be 51 on Monday. It's going to continue to warm up, 73 on Tuesday and 68 on Wednesday. That is all for your weekly weather forecast. We're going to pass over to Jaden Elmore with sports.
A blind runner in the UK completed the Brighton Marathon without a physical guide, relying instead on AI-powered glasses and real-time support from volunteers. Clark Mr. Reynolds used smart glasses connected to an assistance app that allowed volunteers to describe the course through a live feed video. He previously ran a marathon with a traditional guide, but said this technology gave him far more independence during training and race day. Reynolds credited the volunteers who checked in throughout the run, helping him stay oriented during the toughest stretches. He believes tools like these could expand opportunities for visually impaired athletes. Reynolds also says the technology has the potential to reduce isolation and create more everyday connection for people with sight loss. Lewis University's baseball rolled to a dominant 23-5 win over Trinity Christian at Brennan Baseball Field. The Flyers blew the game open with a 6-run second inning, highlighted by a 2-run single from Cole Clemens and grand slam from Jimmy Spellman. Lewis kept the pressure on with 3 more runs in the third and 2 in the fourth before erupting for an 8th-run fifth to make it 19-0. Trinity Christian scored 5 in the 6th, but the Flyers answered with 3 of their own to put the game out of the reach. Multiple Flyers posted multi-RBI performances as Lewis controlled the game from start to finish. The Flyers return to action tomorrow, April 17th, hosting Missouri S&T at 2 p.m. in Romeoville. Lewis University's women's golf finished 8th at the UMSL Spring Invitational at Norwood Hills Country Club, shooting .307, .321, and .308 for a .936 total. Number 17 Grand Valley State won the tournament with a .875, while Missouri S&T and Ferris State followed 882, 893, but Flyers' intention stayed on their own steady play. Kyra Simon led Lewis, tying for 27 with a 2:30 after rounds of 77, 81, and 72. Kendall Farm added a 2:33, while Cassidy Verzi, Eve Garvey, and Hannah Higgins finished at 2:38, 2:41, and 2:45. The Flyers held their position across all 3 rounds to secure a top 10 finish. Lewis now heads to Peru, Indiana for the GLVC Championship beginning April 17th. On Tuesday, the Chicago White Sox got a glimpse of what their future will look like. The 22-year-old Naperville native Noah Schultz made his Major League Baseball debut. The 6'10" pitcher was selected 26 overall by the White Sox in the 2022 MLB draft. Before being brought up, Schultz was strong with the Charlotte Knights, having a 1.29 ERA and 3-0 record to start off the 2026 season. In his debut on Tuesday night, Schultz pitched into the 4th inning and re-recorded four strikeouts. He showed strength and power during his first appearance in the Major League. The White Sox play tomorrow as they take on the Athletics in California. Former Michigan football coach Sharon Moore avoided jail time after pleading no contest to 2 misdemeanor charges connected to an incident involving a former staff member he'd been in a relationship with. Moore was sentenced to 18 months of probation for trespassing and malicious use of telecommunication device. Prosecutors had initially charged him with home invasion, stalking, and breaking and entering before the case was reducted. He faced up to 6 months in jail, but will instead complete probation and other court orders requirements. Moore had been named Michigan's head coach in January 2024 after Jim Harbaugh stepped down. He went on to lead the Wolverines to a 16-8 record over 2 seasons. That's it for sports this week. We'll be right back with Brandon and Christian right after this.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Like Disney, like grabbing.
That's it for today's news. As a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis University Television Network on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Brandon Jarrett.
And I'm Christian Kluber. Have a great night.